All right, what is up, guys? I think we are live. We should be live. Let me check if we're live. All right, what is up?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? My name's Matt with Boyce Crypto, and we are the Crypto Profit Brothers, baby. We are the Crypto Profit Brothers, bringing it to you here on this Sunday night amongst this carnage in the market. Josh, take it away, brother. Take it away.
All right, so first question is, how's everyone's trading doing today? Or actually on the weekend, is anyone trading? What is up, guys? How's everyone doing? Has anybody been trading this weekend? Or are you guys touching grass, hanging out with the fam, long and short in the market? Okay, so for those of you that don't know, this is our new channel, Crypto Profit Brothers. Myself and Boyce Crypto came together and we're like, you know what? We can do better than a lot of the people that are giving advice out there as a dual group together, and respect to them for what they do. But we can do better. And if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Crypto Profit Brothers. So we should be live on my channel. And then following this, guys, we're going to be live on PMG with my normal stream. Let's see. Yeah, we are live. So we're live on mine, live on yours, and live on the actual channel. So if you have not subscribed to the actual channel, go do it, because yeah, we're gonna be getting hot here. So we're gonna wait for a couple minutes for people to join. Wanda, how you doing? I love the support on Boyce's channel. EK, Steven, bullish on parade. Let's go. So you want to tell everybody a bit about yourself, Boyce, and why you started crypto, and then I'll do the same for the people that don't really know us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, my name is Matt. I just got done serving 6 years in the United States Navy, baby, in the United States Navy. Shout out to each and every one of the service members out there kicking it and getting after it. I got back into Bitcoin back in 2018. In 2018, bought first Bitcoin at about $8,000. That was my first investment in crypto, and I have not looked back since. Newer to trading than I have been investing, baby, investing. I haven't been trading. I started trading about 2 years ago on a leverage platform called LevX, and I started working on there, and then I transitioned over into Blowfin. I'm working on getting a MEXC account and everything, so I'm messing around with the different exchanges, seeing the ones that I like the best. So as I was going throughout the Navy, for those of you who have been in the service before, you know you don't make a lot of money. It is not one of the professions that gives you a lot of that dough. You get just enough to get by, and it was kind of frustrating to me because I saw a lot of people that were doing really, really well for themselves, and I was like, wow, what is the path for me to get from, I don't want to say rags to riches, but when I started in the military as an E1, as an E nothing, I was like, how do I get from zero to, you know, where a lot of these people that I see, like influencers and things like that on not only YouTube, but a lot of the people who have started investing with their money and made these big 100, 1,000 X's, how did they do it? And I wanted to learn. I was like, if they can do it, why can't I, right? So I wanted to get into that investing journey, and I started in stocks. I started in stocks with gold, silver, big into the stock market, and I started messing around with options, and I learned options were a lot like leverage. I dived on into the market and I started making plays with that, and absolutely got massively wrecked. Got absolutely massively wrecked, like everybody else does when you start trading, right? When you start trading, you call it the, what do you call it? The market tuition, if you will, market tuition. So yeah, got absolutely smacked, baby, smacked. And I had no idea what I was doing, lost a lot of money, and it was devastating. But then I started learning, I did a lot of research, and I finally found a method that really worked for me to allow me to milk the juicy profits out of the market, baby. And I've been doing that ever since, so much so that since I got out of the Navy, I didn't need to get another job because I was making more money trading than I was if I were to go get any other job anywhere. So that's where I started. That's how I started when I was in the military, and now I'm out doing this, and I started streaming it on YouTube. I started talking to everybody about it, got a lot of support for the channel, and I appreciate each and every single one of you guys for being here. I'm here to bring you guys clarity in the market. I've made the mistakes before. I've been there before where I've been down a couple grand. I'm like, man, I know what that feels I know what that feels like, and I know it's absolutely awful, baby. I know it's absolutely awful, and I know how to turn that around. So listen to my. I never give financial advice. I'll never give, and I know Josh won't either. It's not financial advice on the channel, right? For entertainment purposes only. But baby, I've made the mistakes. I've learned from them, and I've become an immaculate trader out of it. And I'm here to bring that to you guys. That's my little story background. Just got out of the Navy, trading full time, baby, and streaming now on YouTube, baby, on YouTube. And super happy to be teamed up here with Project Moon Gold.
Yeah, so the reason I reached out to Boyce, guys, is because I want to do something with somebody who has a passion. And here's the thing about passion. We actually mean what we say. We make people money. I've been seeing him make people money on X, on Twitter, on YouTube. So the guy has great energy. I have great energy when I'm not bored as hell by the market. And yeah, so that's a bit about why we came together. We will be rivaling crypto banter, and I'm telling you guys that right now, especially when the bull market is back, or whatever kind of market you want to call this. So we're going to get this started right away. I'm going to kick you guys off with an intro. I'm going to have a sip of Gatorade, and let's get this going. That's my... All right, so I will let you break down Bitcoin first, man, because I have my own thoughts about Bitcoin, but I want to get you to flip it on your chart. And I want to see your perspective on Bitcoin. Why is Bitcoin even, why was Bitcoin pumping? Why did it fake out? Why is it resting at the 800 SMA, or why is it resting at the 382, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me get this pulled up here on my chart. We got Bitcoin on their perpetuals, baby, on their perpetuals. Flipping out over here to StreamYard presents. Woo!
So Boyce is kind of new to the platform. Yeah, he's new to the platform a bit that I use, but we'll get this structured.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Eventually, eventually, we got lots of time, more time than the market apparently.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right, Bitcoin on the perpetuals, baby. You guys can see this. Oh yeah, baby, we are up. We are up. We got Bitcoin here pulled up on the daily. For those of you who watch my channel, I use the moving average ribbon. Let me get this a little simplified here. I use the 21 SMA, and I don't really look at the 50 or the 100 and the 200. That's how I do the majority of my analysis when it comes to Bitcoin, and I use the RSI indicator also with the stochastics from time to time, right? So that's what I'm looking at here for Bitcoin with the indicators that I've pulled up on my chart. Zooming on out here, yes, the 200 MA is my go, no-go line, this red line here on the charts, baby, on the charts. And we're starting to close candles just like we have been on the NQ and the S&P 500 underneath that daily 200 MA. As Paul Tudor Jones says, baby, nothing good happens underneath the daily 200 SMA. And for sure, we have started closing a couple candles beneath that line. That is not what we want to see here for BTC. Whenever you guys are watching my channel, for those of you who are new to me and are new to my analysis, whenever we're underneath the daily 200 SMA, baby, I have to be a bear. I have to be a bear. Whenever we zoom on out here, we can see whenever we fall below this red line, we struggle. We get above, we get a pump. You get above, you get a pump. You get below, you get a dumperoonie.
See, it's not just me saying it. Every analyst on X is coming saying NASDAQ is bottom, SPY is bottom. Yeah. Guys, I've never been wrong. Yeah, it's a different market.
This singular red line was what led you into the bear market of 2022. You fell beneath. Does this not look similar to what we're going through right now? We fell beneath the daily 200 SMA, come up and retest, and we could get a nuker to the downside. And I'm not all doom and gloom. You come up, retest that line, and this line would have saved you from the bear market of 2022. You flip that line, you get back above it. That began the bull run. Flip, support, bull run, baby, all the way up to that monumental $110,000 region for BTC, baby. But now we're teasing with this line again. This is a line in the sand for me. I do not like where we're looking here for Bitcoin. It is not all doom and gloom. It is not all doom and gloom yet for sure. But as we zoom on out here, this gap in the VRVP is relatively massive here. Let's get this to update here. VRVP, baby, VRVP. VRVP, the visible range volume profile, for those of you who don't know what it is, it shows you the amount of Bitcoin that is traded hands based on the visible range that is on your chart here. That is on your chart. And whenever you have giant gaps, that represents area of low volume, low order, low amounts of orders, right? So whenever you come into this range, as we've only traded in this range for BTC, as you can see by the order book right here, the orders, we've only been here for a few days. 1, 2, 3, 4 in all of Bitcoin's life, about 4 days, traded between about 76 and 80,000 dollars or so in here. Between that 76 and $80,000, only about 4 days of time. So there's not a lot of price history in this region or any kind of proof that there'd be any kind of support in this region. Now, where am I looking at for a bounce for BTC, baby? If this bull market is to continue, we're zooming on out here. We have higher highs and higher lows being formed on the chart. You have a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, higher low, higher high, and a higher low, tentatively a higher low. We have to speculate that another higher low is to come in here on the charts, baby, on the charts. So what I like to do is pull out my Fibonacci tool. For you guys who don't know what the Fibonacci tool is, over here on TradingView, you can pull it out. It is a mathematically probable area for you to be able to get a bounce between the 618 and the 786 golden pocket, like we did back here, baby, like we did back here in the charts, back here in when we had that prior to that run up here in 2024. We did get that golden pocket bounce between the 618 and the 786 to the upside for BTC. So from the current swing low of the prior range to the swing high of this range, we can speculate that a higher low is likely to come in around this point of control in the VRVP, the area where the most amount of Bitcoin has been traded on the visible range volume profile in cohesion with the 618-786 golden pocket bounce, baby. That's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. The most likely bounce area in here between that $61,000 and $72,000 level. Do we have to come down there? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But the doom and gloom is kind of radiating here in the market. I do not like what I'm seeing here from a macro perspective. Falling beneath the daily 200 MA. Let me get this out of here. Falling beneath the daily 200 MA, baby. The daily 200 MA is a bearish sign to me, and for whenever I'm now analyzing not only Bitcoin but any asset in the market, baby. Now I will say this as we're zooming on in, a glimmer of hope for the bulls, baby. A glimmer of hope for the bulls. We do have this glaring, and I know it seems rough right now after dropping below the daily 200 MA, but we have this daily bullish divergence on Bitcoin, and a lot of the altcoins have this daily bullish divergence that has not yet played out, suggesting that you're going to break this $94,000 level before you break this $76,000 level. That's a glimmer of hope here for the bulls, but falling beneath the 200 MA, a very, very bearish sign. I also saw this while we were pulling up here, bearish Fibonacci's on the local time frame from swing high to swing low. You're coming up into that golden pocket, getting the rejection to the downside. So that's what I'm looking at here for BTC. You have a glimmer of hope with that daily bullish divergence, but I do see more downside, Josh. I do see more downside here coming for Bitcoin, especially from the macro. Looking at the macro with economically with the news and everything. We have tariffs coming up on April 2nd. We have Jerome Powell coming up this Friday, baby. This Friday. It looks absolutely crazy for volatility in the market coming up here on this week.
Do you use the 800 SMA?
Say again?
Do you use the 800 or the SMA or the EMA, the 800?
I don't. No, not in my analysis, man. But yeah, jump on over. Let's see what you're seeing about Bitcoin.
Yeah, so I think you're gonna definitely try using it after you see what it. So
yeah, man, let's dive into it.
SMA or the EMA, whatever you want, whichever works better for you, is what hedge fund traders and stock traders use, and you can see right here on the daily, or I mean on the 18-hour time frame. You can see that we're holding the 800 SMA right here. So if we fall below this 800 SMA, okay, just like pay attention to this right here. Look how long we've been above the 800 SMA for since March 23rd when Bitcoin broke 25K, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
We've been bearish since April 22nd all the way to here. And then we broke the 800. We glide exactly what you showed me there, right? But if we get below this 800 SMA, it's game over for a while for crypto, because we cannot be below this 800 SMA on this higher time frame and just range in the market. And this is a death cross at the moment. So what we're seeing is your 50, your 200, they're all about to cross with your 800. And if you get below this, you're not looking at a small drop. If you look at the last time we lost the 800 SMA, basically that was back in April 2022. And look, Bitcoin dropped all the way from 47 to 26. And that wasn't even a drop. And then you had the drop to 18,000, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So a lot of stock traders, hedge fund traders use this. I actually got shown this a long time ago, but it is one of the key SMAs, or EMA if you want to use, but the 800 that shows major rejection. And if it is bearish, it will stay below the 800. The 4 hour, people say, well, if it is above the 4 hours, bullish or bearish. But what we're seeing in Bitcoin is a lot of things are not really going under the 4 hour. They're ranging at the 4 hour, right? A lot of cryptos are actually just up and down on the 4 hour. So there's no direction really for the most part. But yeah, that 800 SMA. Now, if we're looking at the channel and the RSI on Bitcoin, I've been pointing this out on the channel on PMG for a while, but you can see we rejected that daily right here in the RSI, right? So that's that rejection point right here on that daily. So that drop, everybody should have knew that drop was coming, because we rejected back here from November 24th. But people are so bullish that, Bitcoin pumps to 89K and everyone's happy, right? But we actually never broke that resistance right there. And now we are rejecting it right there, and we broke the daily trend. So here's the caveat to, do you use parallel channels or?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I don't use the actual parallel channels. I just use the trend, the trend line, make my own channels, kind of how it is.
Got you.
But yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely like the pattern. I definitely like pattern trading. But I'm a big 200 MA guy. On every single time frame, I play the 200 MA dominoes. I know you popped in my channel before, man. The 200 MA dominoes, man. You break the 1, you come to the 3, you test the 3, you go to the 5, you break the 5, you go to the 7. And yeah, that's how I like to trade, man. That's my bread and butter.
That's one of the best ways to trade, man. That 200 is king, up or down, right?
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
So here's the caveat to this, guys, based on what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. We didn't hit the top of the channel like I expected, but we already broke trend on this rising wedge. It does look like Bitcoin is going to come back down to that 74 region and test that 800 SMA again. And then if we look at the weekly time frame, we're still almost touching the 0 line on the MACD. So it's not looking good. It is not looking good for Bitcoin at all right now. Like you said, you were drawing the fib. That was what, 70. What was it on the fib?
About 72 or so.
Yeah.
Fibonacci from the prior range swing low, and you could argue that you could pull it from any of those initial reactions, but from the swing low on the wick, that brings us down to about 72 or so, which would match up with that, the point of control at about 70, and then the 786 is all the way down at about 60. That would be the region that I'd have to. You need a bounce there. You need a bounce there. If you create a lower low than 48,000, even at that point, I have to say bear market. That'll be your first macro lower low, baby. That'll be your first macro lower low. And then you have to speculate on your first lower high coming in. Very rarely do you get a lower low and then a higher high on the macro timeframes. Very rarely.
Exactly. Now, do you see exactly what you said? Do you see this double top right here?
Oh, yeah.
Look at that target. What is that target? Is showing around 70K to 72 at this point, right?
Sure.
And that's the bottom of the channel. So I would say 70 to 73 is probably going to be the lowest, but we broke the RSI weekly trend and nobody really gets that. Sure, we're holding the channel and the main trend on the macro, but that RSI weekly trend is breaking. Like, bro, that's not good. You can't just hold a trend after the RSI broke on the macro since June of 2022.
For sure.
So how are you guys feeling? How are you guys feeling, right?
Oh, you got Asia. Yeah, Asia waking up. Hey, that's a good point. Yeah, you do have this weekend. I do want to bring that up. Hey, the CME gap. Where's the CME gap?
Yeah, throw it up. I'll let you go over it.
Yeah, that's all good. So CME gaps form. CME gaps form. Let me get the screen up here. CME gaps form whenever you have a whoop. Let's go here. All right, so CME gaps form whenever you have that candle body closure here on Friday. So Friday's close is still up here at about 84 for the likelihood. There's only been about 3 of them that have not been filled in Bitcoin's history. Baby. The odds of this being filled this week, to me, are relatively high to at least come up here to this 84 level. And that would make sense, right? It doesn't make sense for price. Like you could argue that, yeah, price did nuke here, but with the retracement to the upside, right? With a retracement to the upside, the odds of us just getting a straight nukage down to 72K, it never works like that. They like to make us struggle. They like to drag it out and get people bullish on the asset. That's the only way that they could sell, or the whales can sell into people, everybody. That's the only way. They're going to give a little hopium to this market. And that CME gap is glaring to me at about 84 for Friday's close at about $84,400. I do see a potential squeeze there to the upside, and it would make sense. We've dumped colossally on Bitcoin since about $88,000. A retracement in here to make a lower high here, even from a local fib perspective, from the swing high to the low, coming up here, filling that gap, maybe getting a 618 retrace to the downside does seem likely to me. Does seem very, very likely. I'll be keeping track on that on my X at Boyce Crypto 102. We got to make an X together, man. We got to make an X account. We got to make an X account on.
We definitely do.
But yeah, go ahead, man. That's what I'm looking at for the CME gap. Just the potential for a squeeze to the upside. It's just not something that I would get too. I would get full of like hopium or anything like that. Even if we got a $2,000 squeeze to the upside, there's just that CME gap glaring in our faces. That's something to keep track of as we go into Monday's open.
Exactly. I like how you mentioned the CME gap. Yeah, that is very, very huge. So people are saying you sound like the guy who is horse racing betting. Yeah, you kind of do.
Dude, no way. Oh, I'm looking in the chat. Chill. Yeah, man. I like bringing the energy, man. I really do.
I love it. I love it. You're not depressed, man. Every streamer I look at is so depressed. It's like Eeyore, Cry Me a River, guys. I hate my job. I got to get up from my bed and move to my computer and trade. And then I got to have my coffee. It's so bad. Well, people are in traffic at 8 a.m. in the morning for 2 hours. Like, shut up. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Drives me crazy. So I love your energy. Yeah, we're gonna curb stomp everybody, guys, on YouTube here. So here's the thing about the market, guys. The market is just quacked in every way. Like, things are breaking out and faking out. Now, let me ask you a question, boys. Do you know what retrograde is?
No, nothing.
Okay, so I'm coming at you with some left field stuff. But basically,
let's go.
Billionaires trade money in the stars and millionaires just trade money. So Mercury in retrograde, I'll throw it up on the screen here. Basically what it means when you are in retrograde. Now, some people don't believe it, some people do, but the reality is it doesn't matter what you believe. It matters what the market makers believe, right? So if you throw up Mercury in retrograde trading, what comes up is
you have the screen up, right?
Yeah, I got to go to, yeah. So what comes up is investors might react more impulsively to news, leading to rapid price changes. There's misunderstandings in the market, misinformation, market signals are all over the place. So what retrograde is right now is what retrograde is. So basically it's Mercury going into retrograde, causing a frenzy of this might work out, but it's a 50-50. Once retrograde is over, we're looking at, some more normalcy in the market. And you want to pay attention to these retrogrades and trust me, I thought it was BS before, so I ignored it. And then someone told me to short the market in retrograde. I didn't. I could have made 100 grand easy shorting. And it goes down typically during retrograde because of the uncertainty, right? However, during retrograde as well, there's a 50-50 chance. So you might get bullish, and then you flip right away and you get bearish. And yes, guys, we are still in retrograde. So let's see right now what we're, and I know a lot of people are like, astrology is whatever. Guys, it doesn't matter what you believe or I believe. It matters what the market makers believe here. So retrograde ends on April 7th. So after April 7th, it is looking like we will get some more normalcy in the market. However, I do think we're going to drop below 70K for sure. Bullish on parade is real, exactly. I laughed at somebody on the live who said retrograde, pay attention, PMG, moon phases, and I thought it was a joke. And then people ended up, getting wrecked because nobody really understands that stuff. So I've been looking into it, and it's really, it plays out. It plays out, and you can even, people in here too will say, yeah, it plays out.
When you say retrograde, are you talking about like investor sentiment? What I'm
talking about is Mercury basically going into retrograde astrology wise. And
you're talking about the planet.
Yeah,
okay, I hear you.
I'm talking about the planets. And when this happens, usually it's all over the place because the energy of that cycle is just 50-50. No one knows what is happening, right? So it's pretty crazy. But we are in retrograde right now, and you can see a lot of volatility, a lot of fake outs. One of the reasons is because of retrograde.
Yeah. Yeah, I think something similar to that. I know I've seen some people trade with the blood moons and the bull moons.
Bro,
and the blood moons.
Yeah.
Things like that too.
It is insane.
Which if you did pull up the moons on your chart, I don't have them pulled up on my chart, right? I don't even think you can do that here on TradingView. But I've seen investors put like the bull moon and the bear moon, blood moon and the bull moon on their charts, and it does coincide pretty nicely with pumps and dumps.
Right.
I mean,
it's wild, man. It's wild, and a lot of people, don't understand that. But what you don't understand is what you should be learning, right?
Yeah, sure.
So, and that's everybody, in my personal opinion. It doesn't matter. Guys. So again, this rising wedge right here, dropped, and now you're about to break this double bottom. It looks like big. Okay, so we have a weekly Yeah, that's not good.
Just opened the weekly.
That's not good.
Yeah, we just opened the weekly candle, new weekly candle, and it's already. We don't even. Okay, I will say this. Usually candles have a tail. How many candles do you guys see here? Look, all right, here, I'll pull this up on my.
Yeah, throw back up your chart.
I'll pull this up on my chart. But yeah, how many candles do you guys see here? And this is important with the CME gap, baby. This is important with the CME gap. Whenever I'm looking at the charts, I find that most candles have tails on either side. Even if it's the smallest tail that there is, most candles have tails. Just look here on the weekly. How many weekly candles do we see that don't have a tail? Hardly any. Even this one had a little bit of a tail up here, right? Tails. Almost every single weekly candle has a tail. Even this one, a tiny tail here. We do have a little bit of a tiny tail. So 1 out of how many weeks was this? 26, 30? So you got to keep in mind that we are likely to form at least a little bit of a tail here on the top of this candle, whether that be a wick or not. That would coincide very, very nicely with the fill of the CME gap up here at about $84,000. Just something to keep in mind. But the weekly is not opening good, Josh. It is not opening good. That is for sure.
Nope. And if you look at the MACD on the weekly too, man, it is going straight down into the zero line. One of the reasons we're dropping as well too, I don't know if you noticed this, but do you have your stochastic RSI up?
I don't. I have the MACD and the RSI. But the weekly MACD is falling like crazy. You do have, you have the deep red right here. It's not even weak. The momentum isn't weakening at all. Stochastic RSI. We could pull that up. Let's see what it's looking like on the weekly.
So if you go to your 8-week time frame, there's a reason I'm pointing out my 8-week, but go to your 8-week time frame with the stochastic RSI.
Gotcha. Eight-week pulled up. Yeah, so it doesn't look good. And your stochastic is cooked, baby. Your stochastic is cooked. You're coming out of the overbought region as well on the RSI indicator. That doesn't look good on the 8-week. And that is a massive time frame, ladies and gentlemen. Then this 8-week candle will not close for another month. That is true. Not a time frame I look at very often. I'm not going to lie to you. I usually stick to the month, the 3-month, the weekly, things of that nature. But the 8-week does not look good. This is that's the same as the 2-month chart, isn't it?
So there's a reason I'm mentioning it, because there was 3 months. So now that there's 28 days left, it's getting closer to the close, which means it's more likely to play out. For sure. Because that's going to be I believe that 3-month. But if you look right here on the stochastic RSI, look at that bearish divergence on your stochastic.
On the stochastics? That does not look good. Yeah, that swing across. Anytime you have a swing up in price action and you have a swing across on your RSI, this is relatively flat here. That's bearish divergence. That does not look good. And that looks very, very bad on the 8-week time frame.
Yeah. The only reason the 8-week matters, though, is because it's about to close in 28 days. And this is why the momentum's pushing down. Once we get closer to April, we're going to see red momentum, because that's the close before, the 8-week. A lot of people aren't paying attention to the macro, but you got to, because it is setting up the sentiment for the next month to 2 months to 3 months, right?
And, I was looking at it on the futures. Does Coinbase have more history? Yeah.
How do you guys like this live? Smash the freaking like button, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, drop the like, share this stream, everybody. We're gonna get trending, baby, trending on YouTube. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Josh, something else, man. I'm seeing you even have bearish divergence just on the standard RSI on the 8-week. This is over on Coinbase. This is the Coinbase chart. I was looking at the perpetuals just because I like the charts; they're a little cleaner. But Coinbase, baby, you do have a clear swing down here on the RSI on the 8-week, while you have that swing up in price action. That is nasty bearish divergence on the macro. That does not look good at all. That does not
exactly. And that's the reason I'm pointing out, not because I'm trying to trade or, tell us to trade in 5, but that 8-week closing in a month is, you guys see how the Grim Reaper is here. It's the 8-week. Okay. The 8-week closing is the Grim Reaper, and you can see it even dropping right now. Asia's not really, because the timeframes are getting closer and closer to that 8-week close. It's definitely not looking good for sure. But there is one coin that is looking good.
Yeah, I'll pass it over to you, Josh. I'll pass it over to you, brother.
Sorry, I got to share.
I've been talking about this coin. Yeah, Maavia. You're talking about Maavia.
I've been talking about this coin forever, and I'm like, guys, it's the only coin bullish in the market. Yeah, so it might be Maavia. No. Maavia is absolutely ridiculous. And it isn't just Maavia, but Maavia is... there you go. So Maavia is the only thing moving green. Crazy. Why is Maavia going against the market? I'll tell you why. Because of the weekly, guys. And here's the thing when you look at crypto. Okay, here's your weekly MACD. This is the only MACD crossing on the weekly in crypto. Show me another crypto, you won't find one, because when the weekly MACD crosses, you're looking at a 4 to 8 to 12 week time frame. If you guys can find a MACD crossing on the weekly and the 6-day, you better share it to us, because that thing is going to go for a run for the next 3 months, technically. So here, if we're looking at Maavia, look at this chart, man. This chart is unbelievable. You've got a golden cross right here, bouncing off your 382 pocket, bouncing off your fib down here, top of the 230. You've got your 4-hour breaking out, and this is just ranging while the whole market is absolutely selling off. Just ridiculous. So target I'm looking at in the shorter term, guys, it's going to be about that $1 region. But if we do look at Maavia in the longer term here, it didn't hit the top. Okay, it didn't hit the top, and it already broke that weekly channel at your conversion line. Your conversion line is at support around 35. It closed above that. Now you're just ranging until Maavia hopefully hits $1.11 plus. So It's my most bullish coin in crypto, man, because it's the only thing that is actually looking bullish, right?
Yeah, you had a perfect 786 bounce from the swing high to from the swing low to the swing high too. A really nice bullish retracement.
Throw it on your chart. I want to see your TA.
That was massive.
I want to see your TA on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's pull it up here, baby. Let's pull it up. All right, Maavia, starting fresh, baby, starting fresh. And if you guys can't see, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. I know with where my head is, sometimes I get in the way of the RSI indicator. It is what it is. Here we go, Maavia, zoomed on out. We got the 4-hour time frame. Okay, we're gonna zoom on in, and this was a beautiful looking. I know it's a little ugly. But hear me out. This looks like a beautiful cup, baby. Cup and handle. Cup and handles love to retrace. It has 618-786 Fibonacci golden pocket bounce, baby. For the golden pocket bounce from the swing low here to the swing high, that represented the perfect entry here for Maavia, from the swing low to the swing high to the dollar, baby. Down to the dollar, to the penny, baby. That 786 held up right here on the charts, coinciding with the 4-hour 200 SMA test. You bounced off that 786 and boom, baby, boom, to the upside for Maavia. 122% in the span of, what was that, 12 hours?
Yeah.
Woo! Maavia to the upside. Looked very good. Anytime you're starting to break 200 MAs, baby, every time you break 200 MAs, you got to respect that. You have to respect that. And you break the one, you break the 4. Where'd you break this? You broke the 1, you come to the 2. You break the 2, you go to the 3, you go to the 3. You break the 3, you go to the 4. And once you break those, you're looking for a retest of those key moving averages, and boom, you got it on the 4-hour 200 SMA and the 786 golden pocket bounce to the upside, baby, to the upside. Now what you're looking at here for continuation, if I get all this mess out of here, the 786 golden pocket bounce did look very, very good. You're looking at some kind of consolidation here. And it does look to me like you could potentially be breaking out here for the bigger picture on Maavia, baby, on Maavia. And the measured target of this symmetrical triangle is actually pretty wild, baby. It's pretty wild to the upside to about that 85 to 90 cent region for Maavia. Now, if I zoom on out here, I do want to take a look at where your Fibonacci's would be looking like at. So anytime I'm looking at a bullish move, I zoom out and look at the macro and say, hey, where is this likely to stop? Where is this likely going to get a rejection if we are going to continue to the downside? Anytime you're in a long, to me, I'm not looking to hold that long forever, baby. Like, I'm not looking to hold that long forever. I'm looking for a reaction off of key levels. So from this impulse right here to the swing low, that coincides perfectly with a golden pocket 618-786 bearish retracement to the upside, baby. That still represents another 108% move for Maavia from where we stand. Now, when you get a pump like that, if this RSI cannot push higher, baby, I'll zoom this up here so you guys can see. If this RSI cannot push above this level on this pump, what would that do for us? That would create a bearish divergence here, which would likely be what rejects you off of the 618-786 Fibonacci area to the downside. That's what I'm looking at for Maavia. I am bullish here in the near term for Maavia, baby, to the upside. Just keep this golden pocket 618-786 bearish retracement on your radar. That would also coincide with the daily 200 SMA, baby, the daily 200 SMA. That's what I'm looking at for Maavia, Josh. That's what I'm looking at for Maavia. It looks good, man. It looks really good here.
It's the only coin in crypto. I'm telling you, it's the only coin in crypto as Bitcoin is dumping that is relatively holding or trying to hold, right?
Yeah.
But man, absolutely. Bitcoin is tanking right now.
Bitcoin dumping, baby. The dumpage is real. Whoa, look at that 15-minute candle to the downside, about $600 for Bitcoin. We are nuking over. Oh man, bubbles. Oh, boobles are red, baby. Boobles are red. This is crazy. The year, month, week, day, 4-hour, hour, 15, 5, blood red in the streets today.
You know how many people were bullish the other day? Man,
say that again.
Do you know how many people were bullish the other day on X? I'm not going to name any names, but
no, I hear you.
They got a lot of people wrecked.
I hear you.
A lot of people wrecked.
I mean, I'll be honest, man. I was in a long and the market squeezed me, man. The market squeezed me to the downside. It is what it is. Hey, you take high probability setups with good risk reward, and you're not going to win. You're not going to win every single trade. That's what a lot of people fail to understand. You're not going to win every single trade. That's where good risk management comes in, baby. That's where
exactly. For sure. Yeah. So what is your favorite coin at the moment to make profit on? You know mine, Maavia. What is yours?
So you talk about from the macro perspective. So I have the coins I'm invested in right now, whether it be my number one investment is Bitcoin. I'm going to put that out there. I want to make sure I'm sharing the right screen here.
I mean, short or long. Like, what is your profit play for today? Short or long?
What's up?
What is your profit play for today? Short or long?
I'm out of all leverage positions right now, man. I have to wait. I have to wait for the New York Open. I have to wait for the New York Open. That's going to happen later on. And I'll keep you up to date, man. We'll be texting. I'll keep everybody up to date on my X. But this daily candle, it's scaring me, man. And I think a good trade idea right now, if you're looking at for BTC, baby, for BTC, let me get BTC pulled up here.
74, short to 74? No.
I mean, a trade idea here for me, this is what I'm going to be looking at for on a daily, a macro time frame trade. And this could play a couple days. It could take a couple days. But, as they say, staircase up, elevators down. Shorts tend to pay a lot faster than longs do. It just is a reality. It's just a reality.
Yeah, when you're below the 200 SMA or AMA or whatever you want to look at, you basically, if you're below it, you're shorting. If you're above it, you're longing.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, you could get the risk reward's a little. You could use the 200 MA as a shield right here, for a 2-to-1 risk reward trade to the downside. That would, to me, as it stands right now, that to me is a high probable setup. The stochastics are kind of resetting right here. I gotta wait, Josh. I know when it's time for me to sit on my hands. And after we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 days of straight dumpage. I gotta wait for this. I gotta wait for this retrace, man. I gotta wait for this retrace. If we get some kind of nukage event where we have a kind of a scam wick, or we get some massive fear tomorrow, we don't know. We don't know how Tuesday's gonna end up. That's what has me, man. That's what has me by the balls right now. I understand that tariffs are coming out on Tuesday, and it is arguably the most confusing time in U.S. economic history because we've never had tariffs like this without a quantitative easing environment to support them. We have arguably one of the tightest times right now, comparatively back to 2008 with the Fed, and we have tariffs coming in. That is crazy confusion for the economy. I know when the odds are in my favor, man, and long or short right now, I don't feel like I have an edge. Going underneath that 200 MA, I'm bearish, baby. I'm bearish. But one thing happens within the next 48 hours. Trump tweets out all it would take is Trump to roll over on Truth Social and be like, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna reduce the amount of tariffs, or or these countries have disclosed, made a deal. They have released nothing. Yeah. Nothing, baby. We have such lack of clarity in the market right now. I know the odds of me getting wicked out are super high. So that's why I'm sitting on my hands, man, until at least the New York session. Probably, I probably won't be opening any trades until Tuesday morning, man. Until Tuesday morning. I'm looking for that panic/optimism from the market based off of what happens on Tuesday. I think there's so many people sitting on their hands and have no idea how these tariffs are going to affect the market. And I don't blame anybody for doing that. I do not. We are so overextended on the NQ and the S&P 500, and all of you could argue that with Bitcoin too. I don't know how these tariffs are going to impact us, man. And when I have lack of clarity, and I don't know what's going on from the macro perspective, which no one can say they have a clue right now because nothing's been revealed to us on X or any kind of documentation based off of what kind of tariffs are actually going to be coming in on April 2nd. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And that's what I'm looking at making my trade set. I will trade to the downside on that market optimism. I will trade to the upside on fear. On fear, I'll tell you guys this right now. The odds of us getting, if we get a massive retaliatory tariff on on Tuesday or something like that, or Wednesday. And you know what? Not just that, but we got the Fed coming out too. If we get a massive retaliatory tariff, let me see here. Yeah, a massive retaliatory tariff. We can get a massive wick here on Bitcoin. We could get a giant wick here for Bitcoin down to 618,786. And you know, that may take a day or two, and it could be massive. It could be massive. This could be one of the most golden long opportunities, which is why I'm sitting on my hands right now. I don't want to get, even if I was short, the odds of us wicking down here and getting an immense amount of buy pressure is crazy. You could get wicked out so easily. And when people close shorts, what does that do? When people start closing shorts and getting their shorts liquidated, that executes buy orders in the opposite direction. So you could get a massive short squeeze once we have a dump like this. And I will pair it with this. Now, I'm not putting any hopium or anything about Jerome Powell, but the economy, if the economy looks bad and we get massive retaliatory tariffs, that may force his hand to do an emergency rate cut. It may, and we may have to go into a quantitative easing environment, the environment where crypto thrives, baby, where crypto thrives. Fed Chair Jerome Powell comes out and is a little more dovish on Friday. That's bullish for the market. Massive tariffs, speculation here. Massive tariffs, retaliatory tariffs. We get this nukage down here. Jerome Powell comes in around this time frame, you know, and boom, baby, to the upside on that quantitative easing announcement. It's likely. I know the odds are not in my favor right now. That's why I'm choosing to sit on my hands, Josh. That's why I'm choosing to sit on my hands. That's what I'm looking at right now.
Here's what I'm looking at with my trade setup on Bitcoin. I like what you're looking at.
Yeah, let's see it, baby.
I honestly like that you're choosing to sit on your hands. I am too. I'm not trading anything but Maavia right now, right?
Part of being a good trader to me is knowing when not to trade. And even if it's for a day, and trust me, I'm itching, man. I'm addicted to this stuff.
I know you are. I know you are. You have the energy for it, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's what I'm looking at. So you guys know parallel channels work 99.9% of the times. I'll fight anybody that says they don't. But my 5-7-5 method. So my 10-7-5 pyramid that you guys know, if you don't know, you're knowing now, is right here. So I'm longing or shorting here, 10x, 7, just 2.5%, 20% down, in the middle, 5x. So I'll open a, I don't know, 5 to 10K short, whatever. When it breaks to 618 right here, which is actually the conversion line, if it does in fact do that, then you're looking at ultimately around 74.9 to 75K. And that is where I'm going to open my short, because keep in mind, there isn't really any reason to be fearful because we already broke that rising wedge. So even if we bounce up here on a 5x or a 7x trade, you're not going to get liquidated, right? So after this break right here, even though that is the bottom of our Bollinger Bands, if we go to our Ichimoku cloud right here, our Ichimoku cloud lagging span is turned down. Little secret, little miracle that a lot of people don't know. This thing will tell you if the market is faking out or not. This is the one indicator. The Japanese are the most strongest people in the world, most brain power in the world. This is the one indicator that will tell you if the market is faking out. And here you can see we crossed over on our lagging span right here, guys. How many bars? 27 to 30 bars, and we started dumping. Now, if you look at the 18-hour, this does not just flip bullish right away. I'm going to show you the same thing on the Ichimoku cloud. People are like, what the heck is going on with the Ichimoku cloud? Look at it. It plays out. You cross over right here, 20 to 30 bars. You get a pump. Bang, pumped. 20 to 30 bars crossing down. You're going to have a bit of a dump. How many bars is that? 29 bars. You're dropping. If you look at the main trend on the daily, you're dropping. So you open up a short right here at a 5x or a 7x, you know your stop is just above 84K. You should be able to ride that down to roughly 70, well, at the bottom, 75, 74.8, 74.9. That region right there, right? So with the 10-7-5 method, you probably haven't seen it before, but basically you're managing your risk. I like how you say manage your risk a lot. 10 up here, sure. No risk. 7, less risk, but still risk. In the middle, it could go 50% up, 50% down. The fact is that you're sitting on your hands is the best way because we're ranging at the baseline and the conversion line of that channel, right? So, but after we break this 618 here, and after we break that conversion line, you're going to dump. Yeah, you're going to dump, right? So honestly, guys, the best way is, and remember, guys, we do have a YouTube live on PMG at 9:45, but the best way is to sit on your freaking hands in this market. Boyce isn't wrong. You should be sitting on your hands unless Maavia, whatever. But
the odds of you, I don't care if you're long or short, like the odds. Josh is correct when he talks about managing leverage. Leverage is one of the most dangerous tools in all of crypto. If you don't know what you're doing, use a demo account before using your own funds. Please, for the love of God, please do it. If you don't know what you're doing and you can't manage your emotions, please use a demo account before you get started trading with any kind of real funds. It's very important. And you can test out the 10-7-5 method. You can test out trading with the 200 MA and not risk your own money before you dive on into this market and lose hundreds, thousands, or, if you're Mr. Baller out there, tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's not what you want to do. And that's not the way to get started as a trader. Managing leverage, I promise you guys, this week is going to be one of the most volatile weeks in crypto, not only because we have these tariffs coming up, but because Jerome Powell comes out. Look what happens look at the minute chart every time Jerome Powell comes out and says good afternoon. Anybody on anything greater than 20-25x leverage gets wiped.
No, they're going to get wrecked.
On both long and short. Trading these news events is incredibly dangerous. That's why I'm looking to take advantage of the reaction that we get on Tuesday when these tariffs do come out.
I'm telling you, bro, anytime someone gets wrecked on 20-25x leverage, I laugh. You know why? Because here's the thing. They're gambling. I don't care what you say. If you want to make money in crypto, you do it consistency and you have a strategy. A lot of people are like, well, I've taken one of your calls. I'm like, what'd you do? 50x leverage. I'm like, okay, you deserve to lose another grand. Why? Because people are gambling. And here's the thing. If you guys think you got this market figured out, you don't. The market has you figured out. What we're doing right now is we're managing our position in the battlefield. So essentially, we know we're screwed right now. There's enemies from this area. There's landmines everywhere. There's freaking smoke grenades going everywhere. There's tanks everywhere. But we know we have 3 points of cover. We know we have a way out. So take it, right? This market is brutal. And this is why 90% of people, except for Boyce and I, maybe a few others, have ran away from YouTube and crypto because there's no direction. And people don't like when there's no direction. They don't like when it's given to them on a golden platter. It's the reality of it.
Yeah. Uncertainty in the market is crazy. And it is wild to think that so many people who have gotten into crypto, the bearishness in the market right now, we have to understand that 5 months ago, we were trading at, $60,000, $50,000-$60,000. It wasn't that long ago. We're still up 25% since then. So zooming out and getting a macro scope, you have to understand that we are still bullish. We are still bullish. We did have a little bit of a push up. To me, I'm still looking for that higher low. I have to look for that higher low until that $48,000 gets cracked, man. I have to.
Yeah, exactly. We can't be bearish in the long term, right? Until that support breaks. Maavia is trending in the top 1,000, guys. All our coins we've been looking at, Mew, Ghost ended up popping off too. So if you guys are making money on PMG 444 in the comment section below, if you guys are making money on Boyce's channel, I'll say 111 in the comment section below. We like triple numbers. Yeah, it's a weird market. It is a weird market, but weird market. All right, guys. So what do you want to look at? What do you want to look at that are coins that are actually running? So we know we got a setup right here for some live trading later.
CRO.
Yeah. We'll see you do some TA on crypto.com.
Cronos.
Yep.
Let's dive, baby, dive.
Couple people are like, Boyce has a lot of energy. Guys, do you remember when I first started PMG? Do you remember when I first started PMG? I'm telling you guys right now, I was like, yo, that girl's about to chug back some pre-workout, get her hair out, and go on the beach and work and pump that iron, right? You guys got to keep in mind, we need the energy on YouTube as YouTubers. And if we just are flat all the time, we're going to probably shoot ourselves, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. So so I got Crow pulled up here. I'm going to make sure you guys can see this. Oh, yeah, and this was something that we talked about on my live stream. I had this leftover TA here, but it did end up playing out to the downside. Why? Well, you did have this massive bearish divergence forming on the 4-hour time frame. Let's get this out of here. You have this massive bearish divergence forming on the 4-hour time frame. You have a swing across in price action while you have a massive swing down on the 4-hour RSI indicator. That's bearish divergence, suggesting that you're going to crack this low before you crack the prior high here at about 11 cents, 11/600ths of a cent, right? So dropping down here, forming a bit of that shoulder, head right shoulder. Nothing that I like to see here for Cronos, baby. You can definitely get a break to the downside here, especially with Bitcoin struggling. I will say this, everybody. With Bitcoin struggling, watch your altcoins. We talked about Maavia, right? Why is Maavia different than the rest of the market? Why is it different? You have to look at its market cap. A $14 million market cap coin is not going to react as strictly with Bitcoin as you do with some of these other players on bubbles and on the cryptocurrency top coins. From the, even in the top 300, a lot of those are paired with Bitcoin. You'll see you get a 1-minute green candle on Bitcoin. You get a 1-minute green candle on your random altcoin in the top 300. It's just the way it works. Everybody. You got to keep in mind that these lower market cap coins don't necessarily move in tandem with Bitcoin, baby, with Bitcoin. So we did have that 4-hour bearish divergence here on the RSI indicator. The stochastics are pointing downward pretty violently, and you still have room to go, telling me that the right shoulder is likely to dump to the downside as proof with the bearish divergence on the 4-hour. Not only that, but look at this, ladies and gentlemen, as we zoom on out here, that brings you down to this cluster of high volume nodes here in the VRVP, potentially to come down and test this 4-hour 200 or the 3-hour 4-hour 200 SMA. What's the 4? That coincides perfectly with the 4-hour 200 SMA. I will say this for Cronos. This represents an area of a key support resistance flip that you got going on here. You have had resistance. This area has served as resistance before. Resistance. And you finally got above, and you did flip this area into support, baby, But with that bearish divergence here, on the 4-hour time frame here, with the swing up in price action, the 4-hour swing up in price action, while you have that swing down on the RSI, that looks like weakness to me, stating that you're going to fall back in, and this support level is likely to fail. That's what I'm looking at for Cronos, baby. Watch your altcoins here. We got to take a look at Bitcoin dominance, Josh, to see what it's doing.
Cronos has really crazy bearish divergence on the daily too.
It does.
Yeah,
I definitely want to look at Bitcoin dominance. We have to look at Bitcoin dominance. And why do I want to look at Bitcoin dominance? Because every single altcoin that you guys drop in the chat is going to be affected by this chart, baby, this chart. Let's pull this up here. Whoop.
It was looking bearish, but
it did. I totally agree with you. So if you guys are watching my channel here, I was speculating on this, and I still am speculating on this inverted cup and handle, baby. Inverted cup and handle on the weekly time frame. This inverted cup and handle has been forming for years, baby. For years. It is true. And
that's a very good inverted cup and handle.
What is it?
That's a very good inverted cup and handle.
Inverted cup and handle, baby, on Bitcoin dominance. And I don't hear hardly anyone talking about this. Inverted cup and handle. This is the most bearish chart in crypto with the amount of bullish sentiment behind Bitcoin dominance. You have the inverted cup handle. Not only that, but you're coming up to where? The 618786 golden pocket Fibonacci retracement up into the golden pocket, which is where we currently stand. Do we have room to go to the upside? Yes. Yes, we do. We could potentially touch this 786. Can this all be invalidated and break these highs and go to new highs and go to 80-90%? Absolutely. But until this 786 gets invalidated, I am looking for a turnaround here in Bitcoin dominance very, very soon. Not only that, you have an inverted cup handle 618786 bearish retest of the inverted cup and handle to the downside, supported by a giant gap here in the VRVP. You start to roll, you'll start to roll fast. So let me remind you guys, back here, altcoin season, how long did this last? This was a 45% drop in Bitcoin dominance in 4 months, 120 days, a massive drop. And that's likely how it will happen again on the breakout of this inverted cup and handle. Flip this chart around, baby. Flip this chart around. If you hate looking for shorts like I do, I hate looking for shorts. So I flip the chart upside down and I always look for longs. If I can find a long on an inverted chart, that's a short to me, baby. This looks like an immaculate long opportunity on the inverted chart. So why would I not short this? Why would I not be bearish on it? Not only that, but if we zoom in here on the weekly time frame, baby, on the weekly time frame, so many bearish indicators to me. You do have this bearish divergence on the weekly. On the weekly, you have a swing up in price action here, while you do have a swing down on the RSI for the weekly. Now, that convergent line did get violated. That is true, but we still have this wick to the upside. The bearish divergence says we will not crack this high before we crack this low. Can that happen? Absolutely. It's done it before. You've had bearish divergence and boom, to the upside. So we'll see what happens here for Bitcoin dominance. I'm looking for this to roll over, and I'm looking for it to roll over very, very soon, Josh. That's important for all your altcoins. And why is it more important on this cycle than any other cycle? Because Bitcoin is twice as big as it was during the last 2021 altcoin season. So if we were to get a similar drop, 30, 40%, is that likely? I think the charts are saying so, right? Despite sentiment, despite all that, the charts say that a drop in Bitcoin dominance is very, very likely from this zone. If we don't get the drop, of course, we can move to the upside. And I don't want to be like bullish and bearish, but I want to present both scenarios. This inverted cup and handle 618786 bearish retrace to the downside looks very good to me for Bitcoin dominance from a shorting perspective. That to me means these altcoins are about done with their pullback. It's crazy to see some of these altcoins at 75% away from their highs, 90% in some cases. Absolutely wild, Josh.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, now can I show you something what I'm seeing on Dom?
Yeah, let's see it, man. Let's see it.
This is why we started the channel, guys, to give you guys different perspectives, because not just mine works, not just his, not just anyone's, right? We're giving you guys both perspectives. And the reason a lot of people like PMG and what I've done from the beginning is I'm not just bullish, I'm not just bearish, right? So here's what I'm seeing. That is a great inverted cup and handle. I do agree, but I'm going to show you this chart right here.
Yeah, let's see it. And I respect, dude, I respect everybody's opinion, man. That's what TA is. It's just opinions, a bunch of opinions together and getting together. And even if you see things different between me and Josh, obviously one's going to play out, but it doesn't mean one's a better analyst than the other. They're just setups and they're just ideas. Neither of us know exactly what's going to happen in this market.
Absolutely.
We're just playing the probabilities the way we see it.
Exactly. So this is how I see it. You can see the screen, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay, you know how I keep on going to the 8 week? I know it sounds crazy, but there's a reason for it. So 8 week already broke the 50, right? We still have this much more room to push up to the top of the RSI in the 8 week. The 8 week's about to touch the top of the RSI, and it's already broken resistance. So this means that it has this much more room to touch the top before it's tapped out. Here's the key problem about Bitcoin dominance, even though I do agree it is about to roll over on that bearish divergence. But if you close this candle above this conversion line here, you have a huge W pattern, a double bottom, right? So if you look at it, you can see on the chart, you have a big W pattern. Here's the neckline of the W pattern, which would be a main rejection point. But parallel channels always play out. Like they typically don't fail. So where's the next high, right? And I know a lot of people think I'm absolutely insane here, but the way I'm seeing it is Bitcoin dominance is going to come up to 80% if it does not reject this area, because you still have another month of bullish momentum on Bitcoin dominance. So even if you're looking at the 3-day, well, 3-day might have that bearish divergence, or I guess I'll show you the weekly. If you look at the weekly and you look at the MACD, and then you couple the MACD up with what? It is way above the zero line. It hasn't even crossed down And you can look at your RSI is pushing up, your stochastic is pushing up. If we break this key resistance right here, we're definitely going to 74 to 80%. Do I think Bitcoin dominance is going to drop? I want to be bearish on Bitcoin dominance, but Bitcoin dominance is just very, very bullish for the next couple of months. Now, that might not be a bad thing for altcoins. We will have to see. But yeah, I don't see Bitcoin Dom dropping for another month.
Josh, what level were you talking about for the once you break? What's that breakout point? What's that breakout point to you?
Let's see. So if we're looking at that, that'd be around that 64%.
Hey, and that coincides. Yeah, that coincides with that wick that was right there, and just above that, it's that 786 target, which is where I would invalidate this scenario. So that would be that. If we do get that breakup, man, if we do get that breakup, the 786 sits at about 66%. If we broke above there, that to me, altcoins cooked, baby. Altcoins cooked. That's what I'd be looking at.
A lot of people are like, Bitcoin Dom is not coming to 80%. The problem is
it could.
Seeing this momentum on the 8-week is very, very scary, because if you look at the momentum here on the 8-week and you look at Bitcoin's down, but this is bearish. This is bullish. Bitcoin's bearish. Now go to Tether. Now this is where everybody should be freaking out. And we're not trying to scare you guys, but I'm just showing you guys. We're both showing you guys the market sentiment, but this is where everybody needs to be kind of hide your kids, hide your wife kind of deal, right? So if you look at Tether dominance, look at this. Look at this, Matt, right? Look at this right here. 8-week is completely oversold.
Yeah, that's terrifying. That's terrifying. It really is.
So the correlation to Bitcoin Dom running up, I'm not going to say I have this figured out. Anything could happen, but the correlation to have Bitcoin Dom running up, Bitcoin bearish divergence, altcoins dumping. Some altcoins will be going against the market, which is why I said select altcoin season. But the USDT.dom on the 8-week is just grim reaper. Like there isn't any way to look at it, right?
No, I'm with you.
It's
terrifying, man.
It's wild. It's wild. It's wild. If you look at the correlation with everything, right?
Yeah, and that correlates with a lot of fear in the market too. A lot people are going to want to hold on. People are going to want to hold on to their Tether. What is Tether? Tether is just dollars stored on exchanges, baby. Like people are going to want to hold on to their coin. That whether they sell and choose not to invest in other coins or sell out of Bitcoin, or their altcoins are just not going. A lot of people like to rotate their alts into Bitcoin during times of uncertainty. This is telling us that people aren't necessarily doing that right now. So, yeah, the Tether dominance. It's definitely it's a confusing time for markets worldwide, man. It really is. It really is. And seeing Tether dominance on the run that it's been on.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Tether dominance is oversold here at 5.5%. The high was 8%. So what the hell is happening? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's wild. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're Tether dominance on the weekly. You're about to crack above that. You're above the daily 200 SMA, man. You're above the daily 200 SMA. You're about to test the weekly 200 SMA. You have that bullish divergence on the weekly that says the bullish divergence on the weekly, which has not played out yet. Let me show my screen here on Tether dominance. Tether dominance, baby. Tether dominance.
Oh, it was already on. I put it on.
Oh, my bad, man. My bad. There we go. All right, yeah, still new to the platform. This bullish divergence on Tether dominance has not played out yet. This swing down in price action, while you have a swing up on the weekly RSI, that says you're going to crack this, 6.77% level before you come and test these lows. And so far, this weekly bullish divergence is playing out to the upside for U.S. Tether dominance. About to test that weekly 200 SMA. Look what happened the last time we got above the weekly 200 SMA. We on this chart, you haven't been above it. You break above that weekly 200 SMA. People who like to trade W's, baby. W pattern right here.
If you break that neckline, guys, it's I don't know.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
And people want to, people hoarding onto their cash. This is what this represents: the amount of tether that are on exchanges comparatively to the rest of comparatively to the money that is in the crypto market, right? Yeah. So seeing this go up while Bitcoin dominance goes up, and keep this in mind, everybody, about Bitcoin dominance. I think this has been something that I've gotten people have tweeted at me and DM'd me and asked about what Bitcoin dominance really is. Bitcoin dominance can pump massively when Bitcoin is dumping. That is not correlated to Bitcoin price in any way, shape, or form. It just talks about the amount of money comparatively in the total crypto market cap that is in Bitcoin. So even if Bitcoin takes a nukage down to that $70,000 level, you could expect Bitcoin dominance to pump massively, because at that point, it's going to be maximum fear in the altcoins, and people would rather take the 10% dump on Bitcoin than another 30-40% absolute ball kicker to their altcoins.
So I have it right here. I actually made this a while back. Where is it? Okay, let me share so I made this a while back. Basically what you're saying is this. So guys, for those of you that don't know, this was like OG, like when I had like 1,000 subscribers, I think. But BTC dominance guide: if Bitcoin dominance is up and Bitcoin is up, your altcoins are down. If Bitcoin dominance is up and BTC is down, your alts dump. If Bitcoin dominance is up but Bitcoin is stable, altcoins are stable. And Bitcoin dominance is down and BTC is up, this is your best scenario. Your altcoins pump. And then there's a couple more there too, right? So we want Bitcoin dominance to be down, and we want Bitcoin to be up, and then your altcoins are going to have the light of day that we've been expecting or waiting. BTC down, Maavia up. Yeah, there you go, right? So this is a really good one. I can send this to you, but this is very good for people to see what DOM is actually doing and what happens in the correlation between, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I like making visuals. And look at Bitcoin bouncing off that 618, off that bullish dive on the 1 hour time frame. This is why we say not to short right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say this as well. And this kind of goes away from the charts a little bit. But we haven't had a true. When was the last time we had a true market correction? I'm talking about stocks. Crypto is kind of a newer asset, so we've had massive market correction. When was the last time we saw an actual market correction in the NQ or the S&P?
We haven't. We haven't.
No. And you could argue that anybody under the age of 35, back to 2008, you put money in the stock market, you made money, baby. Congratulations. You made money. You bought and you held for the last, almost 15 years, 20 years almost. And everyone's made money. Does that make sense? Does that make everyone's made money if you bought and held? If you look back at the 2001 .com bubble and back at 2008, that's what a market correction looks like. We haven't seen anything. I haven't in my lifetime seen anything like that. When we were going over to the 2008 crisis, I'm 28 years old. You know where I was? I was in my parents' basement playing Guitar Hero, hitting the lightning strike. That's what I was doing. I didn't even conceptualize what was going on in the markets or with the housing market crash and with the insane money printing that's been going on in this country, baby. The reality of an extended bear market, we're overdue. On average, it happens every 12 years. It's been since 2008, 16 years since we've had an actual, and people will say, oh, well, COVID was not a correction.
That was not a correction.
No, COVID was not a correction. It was propped up. It was propped up by the Fed and immense amounts of money printing. So as soon as Jerome Powell turned on, and everybody sees that meme with the money printer, right?
Yeah.
Everybody sees that meme. That's what propped the market back up. That's what led to that V-shaped recovery in the markets, and we've never looked back. So it's just something to keep in mind. It's just something to keep in mind, everybody, when you're looking at the markets from an overall perspective, that yes, the markets have been bullish, massively bullish, but a lot of these stocks, S&P, NQ, a lot of the things in there trade at earnings to price ratios of 35, 36, sometimes up to 50 to 1.
Yeah, it's wild. So here's the thing. If you look at this main channel here, a lot of people are saying that the NASDAQ and the SPY's bottomed, okay? Look at the next support from this channel top to this support here of this trend line with the parallel channel. You already broke your conversion line. The NASDAQ is coming down to 17.8 at least. The question is, will it go lower? Because now you're about to have a death cross coming up on the 3-day. The last time the NASDAQ had a death cross on the 3-day was back in September 2023. This is not looking like a normal, drop and retrace back up. All these 200 SMAs or EMAs or however you want to look at it are coming very, very close in 2025. It looks like late 2025 to early 2026, we're going to have a big crash.
Yeah, it's likely. It's really likely. It is. I have to say, and even as the futures open up, the first 2 hours of trading, and we've had some nukage. We are so oversold on the 1 hour. It is mind-boggling. The 4 hour oversold. So you're getting some things that are some macro time frames that are getting so oversold, and they could get pinned on the stochastics. A lot of them are. The 4 hours pin, the 3 hours pin, the 2 hours pin, the 6 hours pin. Is the 8 hour pin yet? The 8 hour is about to get pinned on the NASDAQ. And we have to acknowledge that Bitcoin has been trading and crypto has been trading in tandem with the NASDAQ. And even though it was in the idea behind Bitcoin was that it would not do that, but we have to acknowledge the reality that it has been trading with the macroeconomic structure of the S&P 500 and the NQ.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Exactly. All right, let's get to some coins here. By the way, guys, we're always not going to cover Bitcoin this long. Just we are today because it's a weekly close. So, we should be. All right, we got a couple of super chats here I'm not even paying attention to. So, Jason, what is up? Can I 2x long ETH right now? It's in a demand zone. Okay, I'll let Boyce go over ETH, and I'm going to go over Trump.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, let me pull this up on my screen here. Whoop. All right, Ethereum trading at $1,800. We haven't seen these levels since back here in October 2023. I know a lot of sentiment on ETH is that, it's dead. It's a dead train. It's not coming back. I don't. And I was long on ETH the other day, baby. I got rinsed on a long on ETH. Why? Well, we did have that daily bullish divergence. Did not work out. Anytime it's about to not work out. Anytime you have a bullish divergence on a macro time frame here, a bullish divergence while you have a swing across or / swing up in the RSI, while you have that swing down on price action. If you invalidate a bullish indicator on the macro time frame, like the daily or the weekly, if you invalidate this, that is one of the most bearish things that you could see, in my perspective, in the markets, baby, in the markets. What was something that we've seen like this? XRP on its run up, invalidating daily bullish or daily bearish divergence on its massive run up 6x in the 2024 election time period, right? When XRP went on a moon mission, it invalidated bearish divergence on the daily. Every time that it did that, it went on a rocket shot. So we have to acknowledge that it's the same way. It's likely the same way to the downside. We invalidate this bullish divergence here on the daily, and ETH, if you don't get this double bottom here, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, and you have to look at these macro support zones right here. You're trading below this high volume node on the VRVP, and your next support zones are going to be down here at this $1,500 level. And then below that, you're looking at $1,100. You have this high volume node to support you right here, which, there's likely buy orders in that zone. But for ETH, as I said, my trading plan right now, I'm sitting on my hands. I have to see how these tariffs end up. And we need to see some upgrade on the macro. We need to see some upgrades for Ethereum. Good night, baby. They have massive competitors right now. Layer ones that are coming up into the space. You argue Solana, Sui, things of that nature that are doing things a lot cheaper than Ethereum, getting around the gas fees.
So, Boyce, let me ask you a question. Do you believe ETH is going back down to 800 or lower? What is what I said? But
from the macro, I have to say we're going lower here on Ethereum. I have to. I have to. If we invalidate this daily bullish divergence, we're going lower on Ethereum. And your last line in the sand is this high volume node. If you zoom on out here, the high volume node, baby, sitting at about 1639. And we know as you guys, when the people who watch my channel, the ball down the hill scenario, you lose. We lost this high volume node here. We rolled down to the next node right here, the ball rolling down the hill. You lose this node, you're going to roll ball down the hill. Next scenario right here, coming down to that $1,600 level. Where's your next support? Down here at 1,300. You're going to keep rolling down the hill until one of these stops you. And we have to keep in mind that Ethereum, Ethereum compared to Bitcoin, that chart trading at an almost, it's at the lows right now. It's looking very, very bad for ETH BTC. And if Bitcoin starts to roll over, there is no sign of Ethereum strength here. No sign. And it's crazy because this chart is just not looking good here on the macro. And yeah, you could say, hey, is it okay to 2x Ethereum? Ethereum has the potential to drop pretty substantially from where it is, and a 2x long, you're looking at a 50% drop to Ethereum for $900. Is that safe? Is that safe?
Now here's the caveat.
I can't give financial advice, man, but I wouldn't be touching Ethereum here. I'd have to sit on my hands. Not while this daily bullish divergence is being tested.
Now here's the caveat to ETH, and I like how you went over it. But let's go into ETH with some indicators I have on the screen. I want to show you something. So if we go to, okay. So I agree. ETH is coming lower. But now look at the 4 hour on Ethereum, right? 4 hour on Ethereum is very, very oversold in the stochastic. And if you actually go to the channel, and I agree, ETH is freaking bearish. And in my opinion, ETH is coming below 800, but with that double top break. But you're at the bottom of the channel here, which is the macro channel. If you look at the 4 hour right here, look at that. Look at that double bottom with the 4 hour oversold. And it is holding the bottom of that support channel from whatever time frame that was with that bullish divergence on ETH, which you pointed out, right? So ETH is bearish for sure. But the question is this going to be a straight come up, or are we going to actually break out? Now, I don't know if you look at patterns on the RSIs too, just as the charts, but look at this inverse head and shoulder ETH has on the RSI on the 1 hour.
Good. It does.
But the caveat to that is you need to really just break this little wedge right here. So I agree. I'd be sitting on my hands on ETH too, because if you look at the weekly, sure, this could pump back up to 1900, but if you look at the weekly, bad. Look at that MACD on the weekly. That is brutal. That is absolutely brutal.
It looks bad.
Brutal.
And you are so far below a lot of the macro 200 MAs, like you.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Man.
So this bullish divergence is probably going to be invalidated very shortly. And another thing too here is a lot of people aren't pointing out on Ethereum because they have to be, I don't know, they have to think that, that ETH is their baby or whatever it is. Look, you've already broken the trend. What happens when you break a trend line? It's very simple. You come back to the bottom of the trend line and range as support. You can see right here, there's a lot of support right here, but we broke the trend line here in the macro from 2022. And I know 2022 doesn't seem like, but 2022 is when we started the uptrend in the bull market coming from the bear market. So naturally, you're going to range in a bit of a bear flag like you're doing here on ETH, and then roll over, in my personal opinion, come to that $1,000 to, I don't know, whatever that is, 988, 800 region, right?
For sure. Yeah. It does not look good for Ethereum. I will say that. I think there's, if you're looking at anything that, dip your toes into, I wouldn't be dipping into Ethereum right here. Just my opinion, not financial advice, of course. Do what you want.
No, I agree with you. I would say that is financial advice. I don't think, I'm kidding, but I don't think Ethereum's the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw something on X. If you had $10,000 in Ethereum, 4 years ago, you have like $5,000. Like you haven't made money on this. It has been one of the poorest performing coins, arguably in the entire bull run. It really has. It really has. You're sitting below where we were back in November, baby. Whenever you had that run up. You know, we were just at $4,000 back in December, and we're a 50% retracement from there. And even if you were to start pulling your fibs, even if you were to start pulling your fibs on Ethereum, you're breaking the 886. Your next pull would bring you down to the 786 of the low we had back here in June of 2022, back at about $1,600. That's your last line in the sand. It really is.
Exactly. Yeah. Keeping it real. Thank you. I know you like your Trump. Thank you for the super chat. So here's the deal with Trump. I stand by what I say, guys. Trump is going to $50 or more. The question is when. Remember I told you guys Maavia is the most bullish chart in crypto? Trump is the most secretly bullish chart in crypto, in my personal opinion. Why? Because every single time you keep on forming a new high on this MACD, which is bullish divergence, plus you've got a huge W pattern skateboard ramp, rounded bottoms pay the freaking bills. You guys know how it goes. And essentially, we're looking at Trump doing something like that. Now, this bullish divergence can take a bit to play out. But now Trump has bullish divergence and a double bottom on the macro. Okay? So I'm not saying it's ready yet, but it is. Like, even these are little green candles, white soldiers if we get another one. But yeah, Trump is getting ready to go on a run. I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure what the plan is for Trump, but this thing is about to rip. A lot of people can't see it, but you can kind of see a massive rounded bottom, double bottom, bullish divergence, all of that. So Trump at the top, I would say, 1270 for now. Just range for now on Trump. Where my deciding factor here is on Trump is if you break out of the range. Although opening up a 5x, a 3 or 5x long in this area would not be bad for sure. I know a lot of people think Trump is bearish, guys, but you just got to look at the macro and look at this 4-hour 200 SMA cross that is tightening up with your 50 and your VRVP. What are you seeing on Trump, Boyce?
Yeah, I'll share my screen here. So Trump's look. I'm not going to say. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at this as non-biasedly as possible, right? Because I see some things in the chat. Look, I'm looking at the charts here. I'm not talking about the project or, anything that has to do with the fundamentals of anything here. I'm looking at candlesticks. I don't even need to see the name of this coin in order to do some TA on it. Does that make sense? So I'm going to do some TA on Trump coin. I'm going to do some TA on Trump coin here. The daily bullish divergence is rearing in our faces here. We have a swing down on price action while we do have a swing up on the RSI. It is slight, but that is daily bullish divergence down here. Let me move that over to the side. Daily bullish divergence here for Trump coin, baby. For Trump coin, stating that you're likely to break this high at about 12.6 before you come down and crack this low at 9.5. That does seem likely. You have the stochastics reset on the daily about to cross. Actually just did cross here on the daily. Looks very, very prime for reversal for Trump coin. I will say this. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a reversal for Trump coin. And for a lot of these meme coins, I'm a firm believer. This is just the way I view the market. I think memes are done. I think they're dead. I think there's going to be select memes that do, overcome the market and everything. And I think you could see a massive bounce on Trump coin here. Do I think it could go back to the highs? I don't know. I don't know. It could. I think you're going to get a bounce here eventually. You're prone for a bounce. Every time you get a bounce on Trump coin, these moves are monumental. You have a 59% pump right there, a singular weekly candle, 35%. Even these moves down here are pretty massive on Trump coin. That daily bullish divergence does hint to you that you're likely to get a squeeze. You get up, and this daily bullish divergence does play out. If it does play out, you have a giant gap here in the VRVP saying that you're likely to squeeze up here to at least this $17 level. So that does look good for Trump coin. I will put a reminder for everybody in the chat here. I will say this. If you're interested in Trump coin, this is not to me, and again, not financial advice. This is not the coin to bet the farm on. It isn't.
No.
Meme coins are just that. Meme coins, they don't make money. They don't, from a fundamental perspective, they don't make money. And this is the lotto. If the casino was the crypto space, which you could argue, hey, it really is. Wow. If the casino was the crypto space, Trump coin, betting the farm on that is like going to the roulette table and putting everything you have on the number 7. The odds of you winning are very, very, very low when you're looking at these meme coins, man. Just because, like, the amount of I have, and biasly speaking here, some people are right in the chat. The top of Trump coin did coincide with the top of Bitcoin, and a lot of faith was lost in Solana. You know, not just Trump, Melania, Libra. All these coins, Melania and Libra, made by the same wallet, both rug pulls. You can argue that Trump was a rug. To me, look at this. Does anybody say this isn't a rug pull? I think there's going to be a bounce. Do I think
I'm calling it $70 on Trump? People are going to say I'm crazy, guys. $70 on Trump.
Hey, man, that's the beauty of different perspectives, man. Different perspectives. Like, I just, this isn't where I'm going to be putting my money in this market. I hope it does well for the Trump holders, especially since it's taken about $800 million from the American consumer. Most people, when did Coinbase list this puppy, baby? When did Coinbase list this puppy? Up here at the top, centralized exchange got in, and boom, to the downside. I'm skeptical. And Trump owns 80% of the supply. Yeah, I'm not going to get away from the charts here. I'm looking for a bounce on Trump coin on the daily bullish divergence, baby, to the upside. It looks good for a bounce for Trump coin, but do your due diligence when you're getting involved in any meme coin or anything that doesn't have a basis or anything that somebody holds 80-90% of the coin. Just be careful. Just be careful. If you guys are interested on anything on Solana, an agent I like to use is called Anti-Rug. Anti-Rug, you can plug in the address of any coin that is made on the Solana chain, like Trump coin, and you can get a safety score from the AI that says how likely it is to be a rugger. I highly recommend using that, and it's all for free. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at here for Trump coin, a reaction of this daily bullish divergence to the upside with the stochastics reset.
Yeah, there you guys go. Both of our views on Trump coin. All right, guys, cool. So wow, we're over an hour and 30 already. That went quick. I can't.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, guys, as these lives go on, we'll probably like taper it to like a 5-minute Bitcoin TA and stuff. But this is our first live. Well, I gotta have a bit of meditation time before my next live. But any questions? If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, Crypto Profit Brothers, do it, guys, because we are going to be coming out with some big stuff and ideas and stuff like that. And I think. So what are we shorting? I wouldn't be shorting and I wouldn't be long. My only long is Maavia. And honestly, I'm probably personally not going to be trading till after the monthly close. I'll be real with you guys. The monthly close is in one day.
Yeah, be careful. And you got to think of options too. Options expired on Friday. And when Monday opens on a lot of the bigger assets, anything that's open up with options, that moves the market massively. It moves the market massively. It's just like leverage, but in the stock market.
Yeah, options. Yeah, expired. What was it? 10 billion in options?
Yeah, expired on Friday.
Yeah, Friday, so that was a lot of options that were expiring as well. A huge day in options for 2025 for sure. And April Fool's is coming up too, man. This is going to be crazy.
Yeah,
crazy,
it really is.
Crazy couple of days. It's going to be a really volatile week. But yeah, guys, make sure you subscribe to Boyce's channel, to obviously my channel. If you guys are new, this channel, we want to make this really, really big. And for now, it's going to be once a week just because, once a week for now until I have a bit more of a structure and we kind of know what we're doing. But that's all I got for you guys tonight. Boyce, how'd you like the live?
Hey, man, I enjoyed it. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate the team up, man. This is the first time I've ever streamed with anyone, and we'll get a little more familiar with the platform and everything, swapping screens back and forth and all that. I'm very excited to do that with you, man. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys in the chat, dropping your opinions, dropping your coins. I appreciate those of you guys who donated with supers and everything. You guys are absolutely awesome. I appreciate the support. Make sure you drop a like on the stream before you guys head out of here.
Yeah, we want to get this channel monetized right away. So
yeah, for sure. For sure. Josh, that everything you have for the day, man? That everything you have?
Yeah, that's
right.
pretty much it.
Just as we close out, everybody, I do want to pull this up on your radar. Hey, and anybody who watches my channel, we go over this, you know, every single day, essentially. Coming up into the upcoming week, you can type in U.S. economic calendar in Google, baby, in Google. And this is honestly, whenever you're pulling this up, you could say, hey, I know when to trade and when not to trade. How do I know when to trade and when not to trade? I type in this on my in my Google search, and I can pull up U.S. economic calendar. This pulls up everything that's going on this week, and you can see everything that is likely to impact the market here and the times that they come out in Eastern Standard Time. So that's how I know Jerome Powell's coming out on Friday, baby. Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaks at 11:25 Eastern Standard Time. That's how I know, oh, if I'm entering a trade, that's going to be a massively volatile event. The tariffs aren't on here. I acknowledge that. We do have the initial jobless claims coming out on Thursday, trade deficit. You have some PMI coming out. There's a lot of big macros here, and it comes out with the forecast and the actual, and the difference between these two numbers are what's going to move the market, ladies and gentlemen, from a news perspective. So in general, trading around these bigger news events is relatively dangerous, because any bullish news, regardless of how bearish the charts look, you can get a big pump or dump massively, very, very quickly off of that hopium/despair on these events. So just something to keep in mind as we head on out of here. Do your own due diligence when it comes to this stuff. But yeah, very important to look at as you're going on into the week ahead. And yeah, it just gives you a great forecast on whether your trades are likely to be probable or not based on placing them around these times.
Exactly. That's a really good mention. Yeah, I should mention that more in my live for sure. Because economics, and right now nothing is following anything, especially with retrograde too. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you. I got to run. Boyce, that's going to start his live. I'm going to start my live. So I am going to drop the dubstep, and then you guys have a great night. We'll be doing this again next Sunday, probably same time. We might do Saturdays. We probably will do Saturdays once the channel is more built and more people are watching and all that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But all right, guys, hope you guys all have a great day. Stay blessed. Have a great one. We'll see you on both our lives.
All right, much love, everybody. Later.
See you guys. Drop that dubstep.
Switch.